We are here again to discuss the book 100 Reincarnation Cases in Pingyang, the author Mr. Li. And today we are talking about the first chapter. The first chapter of the book discusses the correlation between birthmarks and birth defects and individuals' previous life. And today we'll be discussing one of those examples. So, Mr. Li, why are birthmarks and birth defects significant when you're researching reincarnation cases?
Well, I think the birthmark or birth deficiency are very significant when you research reincarnations, because when you reincarnated, usually you will lose your appearance. Okay, you will lose everything. So when you talk about your previous life, if a person say, "Hey, I have previous memories," okay, but somebody will say, "Okay, I'm very skeptical. Would you please give us some evidence?" Well, it's difficult. It's only memories, but evidence, physical evidence. So if there's no physical evidence, the ordinary people will think, okay, how can I believe you? How can I believe your accounts? Okay, so evidence is very important. Fortunately, when I interviewed them, and then I checked and asked if they have a birthmark or birth deficiency corresponding to their previous life. I found that more than 70% of the 100 reincarnators have such birthmarks. Well, actually, if we examine every ordinary person, even they don't have previous memories, we can find almost everybody have a birthmark. Okay, small or big, but we cannot explain. But to those people with previous memories, they complain. Why the birthmarks look like this and in the exact place. So there's a very strong relation between the birthmark and their previous incidents. Usually the birthmark is caused by previous incidents, like they hurt, sometimes they hurt their skins, so it will left a scar, or sometimes it's bullets. When bullets, you are short, so there's bullets. If there's bullets, so there's exit and entrance cut. So this will left two birthmarks on your body. So these birthmarks will be a kind of physical evidence to the reincarnation, because you can't use, it's impossible to use a coincidence to explain these birthmarks on those people who claim that they have previous memories.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And so let's talk about the first case in your book. In her past life, her name was Yanlan, and she was 12 years old when she died falling out of a plum tree. And she is a great example of having these birthmarks in her current life and connecting that to her previous life, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So can you use these photos to tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Like this case, so this subject, her name is Yuchun. Her name is Yuchun. When she was born, the father and mother found there are three very clear birthmarks. One is here, it's below the nose. You can see it's below the nose. There's another one on the back of the neck. and there's another one on the shoulder. So those three birthmarks are very clear, very clear. So on the very time when the girl reincarnated in this life, his mother said, "Okay, hey girl, little girl, where are you from? Why do you have three birthmarks? And have you experienced some horrible accidents?" So his mother began to think about the birthmarks. So when the girl was 2 years old, she began to talk about his previous accidents. She told her current mother how exactly he died. Okay, the hurt, okay, everything, and later verified. Everything is verified. It's facts. He told us, okay, when she was in previous life, she was still a girl. She was only 12-year-old girl, and his mother asked her to send breakfast for her father in the field. So when finished the task, the 12-year-old girl climbed up to a big plum tree. The tree is very huge, it's very big, very old. So the girl, the 12-year-old girl climbed up to the tree and to pick up plums. So I think that this girl could be very naughty, because usually boys love climbing trees, but climbed up the trees. Unfortunately, this is a very old tree, so a very big branch broken, so the 12-year-old girl fell down on the ground. Mm-hmm. And it's okay because the ground is muddy, so it's not a big deal. But the following things is very unlucky, because the big tree branch also fell down and pierced the girl from the nose to the back of the neck. So the girl died immediately, because and a lot of blood. Okay, and then the spirits detached from the body. She was standing beside of her body and watching her father rushing from the field to her and hold her and take off of the branch and buried her. And so the 12-year-old girl's spirits have wandering in the village for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. Then there are lots of other amazing stories happened during his intermission time. So this lady has a lot of details about her intermission time, but unfortunately, when I interviewed her, she was over 40s. Mm-hmm. So she told me she had forgot most of her previous memories, but still she can talk about his intermission memories vividly, because he was born in a family. The family members are very open-minded, so they are tolerant about his talking about her previous memories. So that's why she can still talk about, because nowadays she can only remember something she often talked. So this narrative, this accounts is not about. It's not actually from Ada's mouth. She talks about these stories, these accounts from very early years. The only reason why she can remember is not because is only because she talked about such stories for maybe 40 years. So this is the relationship between the birthmark and the tragedy happened in her previous life when she was a 12-year-old girl.
Excellent, excellent.
Thank you.
Right. And Yuxuan's story is particularly extraordinary to me because she was able to reach out to her past life family and reconnect with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Because in my book there are 100 cases. More than 90 of them have been recognized by their previous families. But this is a little different because the distance between her current home and the previous home is quite far, about over 50 miles, among mountainous areas. So it's not easy. In early 70s, the road in this area is very difficult, and besides, the family will not take it as serious. Maybe their parents think, okay, it could be true, but it could be also a joke. They didn't care. They think, okay, whatever you say, you have another mother, you have another father, you have another family, you have another name in previous life, but in this life you are our daughter. Okay, we didn't care about your history. So the girl requested many times to his father, hey, Dad, would you please take me to visit my previous family? I have another father, another mother. But their parents, of course, refused her because they think it's so weird. It's strange. Okay, it's nonsense. Until she was graduated from high school. At that year, she was 16 years old, and of course, she still miss her previous parents and the previous home. And one day, she happened to meet a vendor, a merchant, a small merchant. Usually, there are some merchants wandering from one village to another village. And to her great surprise, that merchant was exactly from her previous home. So she was overthrilled. He immediately rushed home and wrote a short letter, very short letter, to let the merchant to bring her previous family. So I think maybe you can read the letter.
Yeah. Dear Mom and Dad, hello. I was Yanlan in my past life. If you guys are still in this world, please come find me in the village of Guangdong in Lingxi Township. I ended up reincarnating here as a girl named Yuchun Yang. Is Dad still working as a production team lead? Respectfully yours in longing, your daughter, Yanlan Wu.
So, when she finished the letter, the merchant promised her to bring the letter to her previous families. Then Yanlan waited for about 2 months. Just before the Chinese New Year, there are 3 adults. Strangers visited the village, so they want to see Yuchun. Yuchun is the girl, the subject. They want to see her. Okay, at that year she was 16 years old. So Yuchun said, "Yes, I'm Yuchun." She was 16 years old at that time. Ours, so who are you? Where are you from? They say, okay, we received a letter The letter said there's a girl called Yuchun. She was reincarnated in this village. Oh, Yuchun was too excited. That's me. And Yuchun looks up and down about the three people. She recognized them immediately. One is his mother. The other is his sister and his brother-in-law. So three people she recognized immediately. But unfortunately, the three strangers could not recognize her because, of course, it's the same spirit and with PL memories, but his appearance changed completely. So they verified some facts, and at last they recognized each other. So this is a very sensational, exciting time for them because 16 years they reunited with the help of the merchant by a letter. So they reunited. Even now, Yuchun will visit her previous parents every year. Her current parents have passed by, but her previous parents are still alive. Over 90 years old.
Wow,
yeah.
That's amazing. What an amazing story. Well, Mr. Li, any final thoughts about Yuchun before we finish up?
Well, I think there are the uniqueness about her story is that he described the details about his intermission memories. Intermission memories are amazing, I think, because he describes all kinds of activities during her intermission time, like how she went to the journey to find her current family, and there are lots of activities about the journey. Mm-hmm. So you can read the long story she told us.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. And if you have any questions for Mr. Li, you can post them here and he will respond to them in the future.